Hello there, welcome back to another live chat right here on the Total OS Today Technology channel. Hope everyone is doing well for this evening. I'm just chilling watching the football game. We have the Cowboys against the Cardinals for Monday Night Football, of course. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I'll wait and see if anybody drops by the chat room to say hello as I watch the game. I think tonight we'll talk about Linux smartphones. This is a topic about Linux smartphones that was brought up last week, and it appears to be the latest hot topic so far for the last month or so. So I'll wait and see if someone will drop in the chat to say hello, then we'll get started. It's not too late, 10:34 p.m. here on Eastern Time Zone. The weather continues to be warm for this time of year. High 80s here in Ohio. Unusual, but I'll take it. It beats shoveling snow, if you know what I mean. Let me check my signal here. Looks like the stream looks pretty good. Very good. Let me go ahead and transition here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Of course, if you miss any of this, you can replay it back. I don't really edit these uploads. If you would like to watch these or hear these as an audio download file, you can. Just go to the TOS Today Patreon page. If you would like to support the channel, the audio file is yours as a thank you for supporting Total OS Today. So let me say thank you ahead of time. Oh, the Cardinals just scored. Philly. And I'm a Cowboy fan. Yes, yes I am. Even though I live in Steeler country, hey, what can I say? Let's see, what is the score anyway? Is it tied? I think it's tied 14-14. Yep, well it will be. Point after attempt, timeout. But it looks like it's going to be tied. Good game, I guess. In Arizona. Alright, so we're going to get started here in a minute. If anybody drops by the chat, say hello so I know you're here, and I'll say hello back. So let's get started with some news about Linux smartphones. This will not be a long one for this evening. So there's something called Post-Market OS. I may have mentioned this before. I don't remember, to be quite honest. Let me go ahead and do this here. Alright, so if you swing by the chat, please do say hello. So this is something I guess it's new. Post-Market OS. I guess people are looking for a true Linux smartphone besides Android, even though Android technically is Linux. I believe it's based on Gentoo. So it says here Post-Market OS is based on Alpine Linux. I have not heard of this. It is a lightweight distro. Alpine Linux needs 5 to 6 megabytes for the base installation and a 10-year life cycle. That's pretty good, actually. Let me scroll down here real quick and see what else we have. And oh, Carter Bing is in the house. Hello, Carter. If this is your first time to the live chat, welcome. Glad you could stop by. So we're talking about Linux or pure Linux smartphones and the possibility of a Linux smartphone. Of course, Ubuntu tried it, I think 5 years ago with the Ubuntu Edge, but they failed. What I think the problem was they were trying to raise like $30 million. It was just a little bit too high. I think they raised $10 million, which is pretty good actually. But since then, we don't really have a true, I mean, besides besides the Android smartphones, we don't really have another Linux smartphone that is mass marketed. So this is something called Post-Market OS, and it is in the very early stage of development. So I guess we'll see what happens. Carter, what do you use? You have Android, you have iPhone, you have neither, although I'm guessing you probably use something, right? Okay, let's move on. Alright, so here's another one here. This is from Make Use Of, I believe. So we have Ubuntu Touch by UBports. It says here, sick of Android? Don't want to be part of a proprietary ecosystem. Security and privacy. Here we go. Security and privacy again. But once you get on the web, do you really have privacy? I'm guessing no. Carter, you have an iPhone. Okay, is there a reason why you chose it off of Android or no particular reason? Just out of curiosity, Carter. Alright, let's see what else we have. What else it says here. Let's see here. Ubuntu Touch, maintained by UBports. This means that Ubuntu's abandoned mobile operating system lives on, as does Unity. Okay. Let me scroll down here real quick. See if anything catches my eye. Currently supported devices include the handsets where Ubuntu Touch came pre-installed, along with the OnePlus One, Fairphone, Nexus 5, Hammerhead. Interesting name. And some other OnePlus phones. Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Sailfish OS I have heard of. And let's see here. Jointly developed by Jolla, the Sailfish Alliance, a group of corporations and community members. Sailfish is a continuation of abandoned operating system MeeGo. I think I've heard of that. But once again, how far has Sailfish gone? I don't know. Alright, so it says here, the greatest advantage of Sailfish OS is that it is compatible with a vast number of Android apps. Okay, I guess that's good. Alright, so to install Sailfish, you need to check instructions for your device on the xdadevelopers.com. Very good. Alright, Carter, so you have a Mac desktop, you've used Android, you like both, and both iPhone and Android. Okay, well that's cool. I've used both. I stuck with Android. Well, I do have an iPad mini that I use occasionally, but yeah, it's fine. So both are fine in my opinion. Well, third on this list is Plasma Mobile. I've taken a look at this before, and of all, Plasma Mobile, just like it just looks like it was made for mobile. If you take a look at this, it really does look pretty nice. I think I was looking at this last week. Yeah, this has a look and feel of a mobile operating system. I don't know how far this has gone. It says here, join Plasma. Looks like there's a link here. Let me click that real quick and see what it shows. And some information here about packaging and releases, but yeah, Plasma Mobile definitely looks like it might go somewhere if it gets enough development. Okay, let's move on. I typed in hours on a smartphone. Would you believe, Carter, that according to this, last year, 1.6 trillion hours on mobile apps. Let me click that real quick. That is a lot. This is from QZ.com. Wow, this is crazy. The number of people using smartphone apps is expected to climb from 3.4 billion, wow, to 6.3 billion. I think the average time, I read somewhere that a person spends on a smartphone per day, I guess talking, browsing, whatever, texting, is 4 hours. 4 hours. Think about that. Well, no wonder that we all have sore necks, strained eyeballs, right? That is insane. Welcome to the 21st century. That's a lot. Anyway, let's move on. That was a download there of a picture. Well, if you guys are interested in podcasts, take a listen to the latest Ubuntu podcast, Season 10, Episode 29. One of the few podcasts that I listen to. And they've been doing this 10 years, I guess. That's a lot. Let's see, we have, I hope I say your name right, Ashhat Ramathan. Hello there, how are you? I'm guessing you probably live outside of the United States. Welcome to the live show. Cool. Akshat, I hope I say that right. Forgive me if I don't. But yeah, the Ubuntu podcast is something I listen to, and also mintcast.org. You like podcasts? Okay. And a couple of other ones when I have the time. Of course, I do my own podcast. I guess once I finish with this, Akshat is your name. Got it. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, if you miss any portion of this, you can, of course, replay this on YouTube. And if you want to download the audio version of this, please head on over to the Patreon page, TOS Today on Patreon, if you would like to support the channel. Akshat is from India. Nice. Akshat, I saw a good movie last month. I think it's called Lion. Yeah, based on a true story about a young boy who was, I think his name was Saru, which translates to lion. And he was lost or stuck at a train station like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and found his family like years later. It's a remarkable true story. You probably are familiar with this, Akshat, but it is called Lion, based on a true story. Excellent movie. I really enjoyed it. And you watch the movie, you'll see that, yes, miracles do happen. It's a beautiful story. Off topic, but check it out. Okay, what else do we have for tonight? Let's go to Linux Today, one of the few websites, well, one of the websites I check someone on a daily basis to see if anything catches my eye. And then I will wrap this up for this evening. But thank you to all two of you who joined in for tonight. I do appreciate it. Of course, I didn't have this schedule, so I do these at random, and then whoever passes by, great. If not, that's okay too. Well, let's see. Security tools to check for viruses on malware and Linux. Linux. Okay, cool. Yes, it is an amazing movie. Yes, Akshat, very good. Yep, I agree. Okay, let's see what else. Clear Linux. Endless OS. Let's see here, just scrolling down on Linux Today. Linux Weather Forecast kernel. Not seeing really anything that stands out so far. Scroll down to the end. Vivaldi, I use Vivaldi web browser debuts with highly requested features and improvements. Very good. I use Vivaldi, it's fine. Anything else here? That's about the only thing that catches my eye. So I think that's it. I have nothing else to say for this evening. We'll finish up on the chat here, then we'll call it a night. Do you really think that there will be a Linux smartphone in the near future? Carter, that is a very good question. It looks like both Apple and Android, well, Apple and Google pretty much have the market. Like I stated before, Canonical tried years ago with the Ubuntu Edge, and it failed. That was a very, very disappointing, because I wanted to see Ubuntu really succeed, but for whatever reason, well, one of the reasons, I think they were trying to raise $30 million. It just wasn't practical, not then and not now. I don't know, Carter. We'll have to wait and see what happens. My guess is probably not anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Ben is in the house. Ben Fitzpatrick, how are you? I don't know why I'm talking like a Dracula. You don't like Android, just seeing its very name makes me sad. Aww. Well, I have several Android products, several Android tablets. Hey, it works for me. What can I say? Yes, Akshat, Android at the core. It's Linux, absolutely. Based, I believe, off of Gentoo. We'll see what happens as far as a pure Android phone. Time will tell. I don't see it anytime soon. But hey, I think the Plasma Mobile looks terrific. But yeah. Yeah, there's the KDE Mobile, or I'm sorry, Plasma Mobile. That looks pretty good that we looked at a few minutes ago. Of everything I've seen, that one just looks like it was made for mobile. But yes, Akshat, yeah. It's a Plasma Mobile. Yeah. I don't have too much more information. There's probably going to be some kind of, crowdfunding. Time will tell. You don't mind if people use Android, you just have a strong hatred for it. Okay. May I ask why? Do you prefer iPhones? Not that it matters to me, Ben, but yeah. I think the one thing about Android is you have more choices of apps. Akshat asks what actually happened to the Ubuntu phone. Yeah, they tried to raise, I think it was 5 years ago or so. There was a crowdfunding Indiegogo, I think. GoFundMe. No, I think it was in. They would. I think they were trying to raise $30 million, and that just wasn't reasonable. They raised $10 million. You think that would have been enough? But it never happened for whatever reason, and that's a shame. I think raising $10 million is pretty good. Yeah. But I guess it wasn't enough, Akshat. So I don't know what else to say, but time will tell if we will see something raised like that again. I mean, if a different company or developers today raises millions of dollars, I hope that's enough at least to get it started. But it all comes down to the apps. Will the phone have the apps that people want? I think part of the reason Windows Phone never sold, well, they were kind of late coming to market. I thought the Windows Phone looked terrific, but it all comes down to the apps. Ben, you prefer iPhone? I've tried Android. It was just not user-friendly. Really? Okay. And it broke easy. Every device I tried wasn't any better, so I found it no better. Well, as far as quality control, I would say iPhones are definitely better. I don't know what the gap is. It's probably not as bad. Yeah. You hope Plasma goes well. 30 million is a lot. Yeah, it is. It is. They both suck, Ben. Well, they both have their pluses and minuses. The problem with Android phones, you don't know when you buy a phone if it'll become obsolete in terms of the updates anytime soon. And that's the problem. You know, with Apple iPhones, you're going to get a good 3, 4, maybe 5 years out of it of updates, I'm assuming. But for Android, it could be as little as a year. 2 if you're lucky, then you have an outdated phone or outdated updates, and it shouldn't be that way, especially when a phone costs $600, $700, $800. That's wrong. Fat Elvis has joined us, but not as much as my Gentoo, which is no longer sane. Well, like I said, Android phones are based off of Gentoo. Let's see, you guess Apple development just got easier to delve into rather than iOS. Also, it's more flexible compared to the closed structure. Well, I will say this. The iPhone changed everything. It was 10 years ago in June of 2007. They had a vision. Well, Steve Jobs had a vision. And if it wasn't for them, what kind of phones will we have out there? I don't know. Dinusha Sanduran. Hope I say that right. iPhones are overpriced. Well, there's a new iPhone X that is $1,000. That is crazy, for sure. Akshat, you would think a Linux phone would be cheaper, but I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. The Ubuntu Edge, of course, it never came to be, but I don't know what the price point would have been for that. So I don't have any gauge. Rebuild the toolchain, rebuild the entire system twice, and it's still throwing errors. What's up, Fat Elvis? What errors do you have? I think most people probably are content. Well, millions are content with either, although I believe Android phones are outpacing Apple sales. But I think most people are content to choose one or the other. We'll see. You just cannot use Android, so you won't see me buying it. Okay, alright. What is my favorite distro? Question. Well, I like to keep it simple. I like Linux Mint Mate. And I also like Ubuntu Mate in my other machine. But I mean, I've tried so many of them. But I would probably say what I'm using now works for me, Linux Mint. I mean, it's great for everyday usage and new users. Ubuntu Mate, really, they've done, Martin Wimpress, the lead developer, has done a terrific job. So, Akshat, there's your answer. Linux Mint Mate and Ubuntu Mate. Alright, so it's 5 to 11. I'm going to wrap this up here in 5 minutes. And the Cowboys scored again. Yay! Go Cowboys. Watching Monday Night Football here in the States. 21-14 Cowboys. Very good. So in between operating systems, I watch football. 'Tis the season. What can I say? Let's see what else you guys are saying. You tried to do a Gentoo system, but it got poor feedback. Well, I don't really, or a Gentoo stream. Well, I don't really mess with Gentoo. Yeah. You know, it is insane how many hours people spend on their mobile devices. Average 4 hours a day is simply crazy. But we're all guilty of it, right? Yeah. I mean, before I go to bed at night, I'll check the latest news items for the next day. I watch videos on my phone. It's just a matter of convenience. Now, when I do go to bed, I do shut it off. That's where I draw the line. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to be bothered. And they say it's not really a good idea to keep your phone charged all night. Part of it is the buildup of heat, which is not good for batteries. Yeah. Fat Elvis, you should downgrade glib and... Okay, alright. Well, I don't know. I did download Arch... What did I download? Arch Linux? No. Arch Labs. Downloaded it this week and I'll take a look at it when I have some time. Somebody wanted me to check it out. I guess it's newbie friendly, I think. I'm not sure, but I will check it out. Fat Elvis is waiting for your Ryzen and the cooler. A Ryzen cooler? Well, that sounds interesting. Sounds cool. Haha. Check one more thing before I wrap this up. Let's go to news. Let's do that. Let's go to technology and see what do we have here real quick. Then I'll wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for joining me for this evening. Let's see here. Mac OS. The iPhone 8 glass spec might be fragile, but still better than the Note 8. Interesting. Microsoft plans to own quantum computing like it owns Windows PC. That might be a topic for another evening. 11 months after it began, the video game voice actor strike is ending. I didn't know they were doing that. That's interesting. GPS will be accurate within 1 foot in some phones next year. Wow. Very good. Okay, Ben. Have a good night. Let me scroll down here, and I think we'll wrap it up. Verizon quietly pulls Wear 24 smartwatch. I didn't know Verizon had a smartwatch. Bill Gates uses an Android phone. Interesting. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for joining me for this live event. Hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks to Fat Elvis and everybody else in the house. Ben, Ashkat from India. Akshat. Sorry. Akshat. Yeah, that's cool. Had somebody join in from India. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, this is not a coast to coast live feed. This is continent to continent. Even though coast to coast sounds better, right? Toss today, coast to coast. Continent to continent. Carter, you two have a good evening. Thanks to everybody once again. Thank you for stopping by. Of course, if you miss any of this, you can replay this back. Those of you who pass by this later on during the week or whatever, if you have subscribe to the channel. Support the channel if you can. And I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great evening. Thank you to all. Good night.